Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. A few things. First of all, the lights are on, so you might think, oh, it must be 4:30 in the afternoon and he's filming late in the day. When in actual fact, it's heading towards 10 o'clock in the morning and it is so dark today, I didn't have enough light to film. It's that bad. I just stood here looking at, I can't film in this light. This is ridiculous. And then I thought, well, why have I got additional lighting? Yes, it's mainly to extend the day length, but when it's a really dull, miserable day, why not just put them on all day and extend the day length? So that's what I've done. Right, there are times when you'll hear me say about a certain problem, what this is so-and-so, so-and-so. That means I'm confident I know what a problem is. And there are other times when I say, well, what I think's gone wrong here. Well, when somebody says something along those lines, they're guessing, aren't they? Yeah, that might be an educated guess with some options, but nonetheless, it's a guess. So you can all play the guessing game now. Firstly, because once I explain what's going on here, you've probably never seen it and never owned an orchid that's done it. So your ideas will probably be a guess, the same as mine would be. But I'm not going to tell you what my guesses are. Let's see if you can come up with some. I've got my own ideas. And I've set the tripod up, literally, because the light's that bad. And I've zoomed in a bit, which means if I touch these blooms and they wobble, it'll probably go out of focus. But also the colour rendition is wrong. That's the lights. It's not the colour I want to talk about. When the first bloom opened here, we had our 2 petals, 1, 2, and a lip. One of the petals was deformed. The lip was good, and the sepals had some marks on them. And I said, right, we'll wait and see what the next bloom looks like, because that's not right. Now take the next bloom in isolation. In other words, you haven't seen that one yet. And the 2 petals look very similar. Yeah, but there's no lip. Now you might think that's what it's supposed to look like if you didn't know better, right? So what we've got now is another badly deformed bloom, no lip, 2 badly formed petals. Yeah, the sepals look reasonable. The sepals look reasonable on there, apart from some colour marks. So you have to bear in mind with a bloom, an orchid bloom, the sepals are the bud. So they're the outside of the bloom. The petals and the lip are the inside of the bloom. It's difficult to damage those. That's why the sepals are there, as a bud. It shields the important parts of the inside. Yeah? So how did the damage occur on the inside? There's only one insect I know that can do that, and I haven't got those. If I had those, they are damaging in their life stages, but the adult is a flying insect. If I had flying insects in here, with the amount of time I spend in here, don't you think I'd have spotted them? Yeah? If there was enough around to do that amount of damage to the inside of the buds, I'd have seen them. And they're not here, so we can exclude those little blighters. You get an outbreak of them, you really are going to have some fun. So what else could be going wrong then? I'll point back to when I got my new TDS and pH meters. Yeah? Maybe there's a clue. You might have to go and watch the video if you didn't see it, because I know some people don't like those sort of gadgety type videos. But there was a problem identified there in that video that could have serious repercussions if that problem was prolonged, in other words, over quite a long period of time. Could that problem do that? Well, they all get watered the same. So if that problem occurred on that plant, why hasn't it occurred on others? But then we'd have to say, yeah, but these are new blooms, aren't they? Yeah, well, so are my cattleyas. The angel heart's out up there. There's nothing wrong with those blooms. My little Cattleya cernua, Nothing wrong with those blooms. Yeah? So is that logic right or wrong? Yeah? So there's something wrong here, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know what it is. I'd like to know, but I don't. So any analysis of this from me would be nothing more than a guess, because I haven't come across this before. I haven't had a plant do this. So this is new to me. We've got one bud left to go that hasn't opened yet, hasn't even got its colour yet. But something else on this plant, it's a Miltonia, yeah? I think it's a primary cross, Queen Anne. And I've got other Miltonias. I'm used to seeing the spike emerge from the bract leaf near the base of the pseudobulb and push on and form its buds and open. I've seen it many times, but I've never seen one take this long. This took an absolute age for that spike to mature and open its blooms. And I'm talking months and months and months. A twinkle it ain't. You know, that's what twinkles do. And the parents, so to Adam, those took a long time. But they opened okay. So what's gone wrong here? What could this be? And as I've said, I have no idea. So you can fire your ideas off. I shall read them thoroughly. And in amongst them could be the right answer. But will we know it's the right answer? You see what I'm getting at? This is wrong. I don't know why. And if you don't know why, what the hell can you do to try and put it right? All I will say is this plant has headed off in two directions, and this direction up this end of the plant is nowhere near as good looking as the other end. The other end produced a new pseudobulb with the largest bulb on the plant, and some idiot broke the spike off. And up that end, in that area of that latest growth, 3 new growths have pushed out. That's unusual for this type of plant, yeah? Up this end of the plant, the latest growth has got slight malforming at the base. I don't know whether that's, where's my screen? You can't see that, but just there, off the edge, almost off the edge of the shot. The top of that pseudobulb where the leaves came out is not quite right, and it's a small bulb. This bulb that has the blooms on hasn't even formed a bulb. It's opened the leaves. They're half the size of the leaves up the other end of the plant. Now go back to where this plant originally came from. Those of you who followed me for a long time. I bought 3 Miltonias from an orchid nursery in Madeira. They all had the same problem, and one was so bad it didn't even live. And the other 2 I've managed to keep going. And this is one of those. So could it be that although this plant's been treated, we've had another outbreak up this end of the plant that doesn't seem to be affecting the other end of the plant? Could it be that? So that would be the dreaded F word, yeah? There's another dreaded word we could use which starts with V. That's unlikely. The plant, this is a single plant, yeah? So if you've got that problem in a plant, you've got it in the plant. It's not going to affect one little bit of it. It's going to be in it, yeah? And most of the things that begin with the V show on the leaves more than anywhere else, although they can cause problems with blooms. What else could it be? While the buds were developing, we were in the phase where my oncidium types were getting too much light. Now that phase has long since finished, so it's unlikely to be that. Nonetheless, I suppose it's a possibility, but I've had plants that have been in the wrong light too high in the past and it hasn't affected the blooms. So unlikely to be that. But bear in mind, one end of the plant is growing really strong and the other end isn't. So have a think. That's it for today. As I say, I've offered some pointers, but I don't know. I'm only making guesses, and I'm sure some of you will make educated guesses or random guesses, but at the end of the day, that's the plant, those are the blooms, and both of those blooms are deformed in a way. The first bloom that opened has got a deformed petal. Apart from that, it doesn't look too bad. The lip is perfectly formed and the right colour. Yeah? The second bloom that's opened has got no lip and 2 distorted petals. It's wrong. We've got another bud to go. I doubt if that's going to be perfect. So what's caused it? Something that's happened to the buds while they were maturing? Something that's happened down there at that end of the plant? Those are the 2 suspect areas, but I don't know what's wrong with it. So you have a think and come up with your ideas. And I hope none of you ever see that on any of your blooms, because it is worrying. I know what I'm going to do about it. You're not going to like it, but because whatever the problem is, there is a source, and therein lies the possible solution. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by. An afterthought. These buds have developed and opened at exactly the same time as the Miltonia. Therefore they would have been subjected to the same sort of watering and feeding. There ain't nothing wrong with these. Nothing at all. They're all formed the same coloration. So that was grown and fed and watered in a similar manner. They're both mounts. Yeah? Nothing wrong on this one. Okay, one's a dendrobium, one's a Miltonia, but you see what I'm getting at. Yeah? Same over here. It's a mount. Would have been watered and fed the same. Oh, hang on, I'm still zoomed out. That probably means what I've just filmed was totally out of focus. Right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with these blooms. Nothing wrong with these blooms. I know they're different plants, but it's, you know, in a process of elimination, that should, in theory, exclude some potential problems. I'll better show those again in case that was out of focus. But these are fine. These are all nicely formed, and boy are they a nice colour. They won't look right under these lights, but yeah, so have a think. I was going to show the Vandas, because they're all perfectly formed as well, but then those don't get watered and fed the same. They get dunked in a bucket with their own feed, so they're unique. Anyway, have a think, see what you come up with.